like to give you my experience in dealing with Titan Asset Management Company. I think it was the second week in May of 2025. I contacted them. I saw their internet ad, and I called up the representative, and he explained to me that it's a hedge fund, and they've been very profitable in their trading, and they decided to make this a public, fund so that other people can trade also. So I asked them to show me the history of the trades, and they did. They sent me the history of the trades, and I said, well, how do I know the trades are real? And they showed me that there's a company that audits the trades, and I called the company and said, yes, it's a legitimate hedge fund. Yes, they did make those trades, and they showed me graphs of how well they do, and most of the times the graphs are up on the monthly basis, and sometimes they had very small downside, but it looked very profitable. So I said to myself, okay, let me get interested in this. So I call him up. He says, how's it work? He says, well, you send us a check or you wire us the money and we start trading for you. And if our trader is up 10%, you're going to get 70% of that. You'll get 7%. And then I asked him, well, what happens if it goes down? If it goes down, no, you take the loss. I said, all right, but I see you have very few losses, so I'd like to get involved. So I sent them a check. I think they started trading for me, I think May 21st, around there. And then I waited until June 19th to ask them, well, how's it doing? And they emailed me, says, well, our fund has been up since the last 2 months, 13%, so you're up about 9%. I said, that's great. This was on June 19th. So I thought I was up 9%, $54,000. I said, well, everybody has a system until it works. So I emailed them. I said, suppose it doesn't work. I mean, how are you protecting my money? Is there any downside protection where if I have a 10% loss, you stop trading? How's it work? And they explained to me that it's very hard to have a large drawdown. They see no scenario where I would have a drawdown of even 10% because they're trading with very little of my money at any one time. Most of the money at any one time is in cash, and they're only trading 3 or 4 stocks at a time. So they see no scenario where I would lose 10%. I said, okay. And remember, on June 19th, they told me I was up 9%, which was great. This is all in emails. So I anxiously await the report for July 1st. That would be the report they're supposed to send on a monthly basis. But they said it was late because of the holiday, 4th of July holiday. I'll get it later on. And when I get the report, it says that I'm down 14% and I've lost $7,000. So that means somehow between June 19th to July 1st or June 30th, I went from being up $9,000 to being up $5,400 to being down $7,000. So I called them up. I was very upset, and I said, how could that possibly be? And they said, well, there are fees involved. And I said, what do you mean fees? You never mentioned any fees. He said, yeah, there were fees involved. I said, oh, this is not right. I'm going to make a YouTube video. You never mentioned there were fees. Please explain to me how this drawdown happened so quickly if you say you're protecting my assets. Because they said their priority goal is to protect my assets. Well, I've just lost in 11 days. It went from being up 9% to being down 7%. That's 14%, being down 14%, which is a 22% drop in just 11 days. And they couldn't explain it. They didn't want to talk to me. They didn't talk to me. They refused to talk to me. I said, I'm going to make a YouTube video about this because I lost a lot of money in just 11 days, and you're not explaining how this could have possibly happened. And I still to this day do not know what the fee is that they're charging me, that because NAV Consulting is monitoring their trades and sending out these reports, you pay a fee to NAV Consulting, but I don't know what that fee is. I don't know how much it is. I don't know how often the fee is made. So that's why I'm making the video, to explain that so far I haven't made any money. So far I've lost money, and I've experienced them telling me on June 19th that I was up 9%, whereas on the report they give me on June 30th says I'm down 14%. right, down $7,000. So I went from being up $5,400 down to being losing $7,000 all in 11 days. So it's pretty volatile in my view. So that's my experience. Just want people out there to share it, and that's been my experience. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.